Hi everyone, this week on Health Tip we're going to be talking about RS and DS. What are those? Well, you'll find out in a minute. But these are some of the potential problems with consuming these things. So weight gain is a big problem. So typically if somebody's consuming one of these a day, they would probably gain about 1 pound every 4 years. Doesn't sound like a lot, but it could be a problem. Consuming this could actually, there was a study that showed there was a 70% increase in the waist circumference of men and women who were consuming this. This one has been shown to increase gout. This one here has been shown to increase the risk of heart attack by 20%. This one as well. Type 2 diabetes goes up 26% with this one and 67% with that one. That's an important thing to look at. I'll point that out in a second. Brain shrinkage was also noted in a rat study when they consumed these things. So there was less neural activity in this study, and when they consumed this, there was actually shrinkage of the brain. Bone density was another big problem. So, getting older, men and women, fractures. So consuming this here, there was a 3.7% decrease in bone mineral density on a study. And the actual part of the Ward's angle, which is another part that they measure in the hip, actually had a 5.4% decrease. This one had similar decreases as well in bone density. Both of them contain a substance that's been shown to cause cancer in rats. And both of these disturb sleep. And this one here has something in it called HFCS. What the heck is HFCS? Well, it's something that makes things sweet, very sweet. This stands for high fructose corn syrup. So I don't know if you can guess what this is. This doesn't contain that, by the way, but it contains something almost as bad or even worse. So what is RS? RS stands for regular soda, and DS stands for diet soda. So people who have been marketed to death thinking that they're not going to gain weight by drinking a diet soda, look, 67% increase in type 2 diabetes with people consuming diet soda. One of the big reasons for that is that this right here, what they use to sweeten regular soda is usually sugar, glucose, and something called high fructose corn syrup. And fructose can be very damaging to the liver, and this high fructose corn syrup is derived from corn. And as you've seen in some of my other videos, if you remember, 95% of all corn in North America is genetically modified, meaning that it's been sprayed with glyphosate, which is a really deadly kind of toxin that's sprayed on all the crops now, basically, which is destroying people's health and the bacteria inside their intestines and the internal flora that makes them healthy. And that's also the reason why this can cause more diabetes than that, because they're actually find when you disturb the healthy bacteria on the inside of our intestines, and there's more of them than there are of us, that whole environment on the inside, when that gets thrown off, it can actually cause problems with blood sugar regulation, insulin, and all sorts of other things. And it really causes a mess in your whole body, because these are sweetened with artificial sweeteners. Aspartame, sucralose, whatever it is that they're putting in there, all of those have a negative impact on the microbiome, we call it, or the healthy flora, because there's bacteria, there's viruses, there's fungi, there's parasites, all sorts of stuff in there. But when that stuff gets disturbed, it can throw the system off and even throw off blood sugar and blood sugar regulation, which is quite interesting. What's the alternative? And don't be fooled, by the way, by the fruit juices that they have out there, the healthy fruit juices, no sugar added. A lot of those have just as much or more sugar in them than this. So don't be fooled because of the fact that it's fruit juice that you're hypothetically thinking you're getting something different than this. You might be getting some antioxidants and polyphenols and that sort of stuff, but it can be very devastating. So what's the alternative? Ideally we want to just be drinking water, because that's what was available for our ancestral humans and our DNA. Like, you don't see animals out in the wild drinking pop and stuff like that either, but we've grown accustomed to that sort of thing. And one of the other kind of disturbing stuff that this does is it raises your set point of how sweet things are supposed to be. So that happens to your taste buds too. And so then, something that, maybe like a pepper that actually could be pretty sweet, or some other sort of like a tomato or something that's not super sweet, but you would notice that because your bar is held so high because of hitting it with this all the time, that your regular food that might have a good sweetness to it, you might not even notice that it is anymore. So, is there a healthy alternative? Not exactly, but there's less damaging alternatives, and we'll go into the kitchen now and I'll show you some ways that you can kind of get the fizzy, get the sweet, and have a bit of something that might be less damaging than all of this stuff. So let's have a look at that. So what's the solution, or what's an easy way to do it? You can take some carbonated water. We just have one of those carbonators, but if you take a good quality sparkling water like Perrier or something to that effect, or some Italian sparkling waters, pour a glass, and you take this, which is a natural stevia liquid derivative that they've added a flavor to. So in this case, this is a giggling grape. So you just take something like this, take a capperful, maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, maybe about 8 drops, swirl it around, and there's your grape Fanta or grape drink, whatever, carbonated grape drink, whatever you want to do. You know, you can add more or less drops to your satisfaction of how sweet it needs to be. Obviously, it doesn't taste as great as the real one with all the fake, with all the high fructose corn syrup and all the genetically modified sugar and all that other stuff. But it's a good enough, swap out, let's say. And this one, the liquid one, really doesn't have that bad stevia aftertaste that some of the powdered ones do. And they have different flavors. They have root beer and strawberry and all different sorts of things. So whatever your favorite kind of sparkly drink is, try to look for the flavored stevia. Just put it in as many drops as you want to make it satisfying. And there's your semi-healthy switch out for the horrible sodas and pops that are destroying our health and our brains and everything else. And one other commercial option for the fizzy sweet drinks. There's a product called Zevia, which is basically carbonated stevia water, but it also has erythritol in it. So for example, here's the grape one. So ingredients are carbonated water, citric acid, stevia leaf extract, and natural flavors. So that one's not bad. Here's the orange one. Carbonated water, erythritol, which is a sugar alcohol, citric acid, natural flavors, and rebe, which is stevia extract. So as far as ingredients, I would prefer this one to that one, just because straight stevia is better than erythritol or the sugar alcohols. So initially, there was only a couple of flavors of this that I would get because they wanted to have it look like whatever it was. So the grape was blue and the orange was orange. But the problem was their root beer, their ginger ale flavors, etc. They had caramel coloring in it, which is kind of known around as actually a carcinogen. So, I was saying, geez, they're trying to push this as for the health population, and I guess it was there for 2 or 3 years in that manner, and then finally I saw something that they finally started advertising it like, clear. They're all clear now. It's clear in color, so it says right on the labeling now. So they took out all the artificial colors, basically, because, they don't need to be colored. If you're trying to push this for the health population, they kind of know about this caramel color, most of us do anyway. So at least they took that out, so pretty much all of these are pretty much okay to drink. I'm not saying that it's a health food or by any stretch of the imagination. It's just the best alternative to your kids drinking grape or root beer or ginger ale or whatever it is. And if you want to have it in a can, if you want to have the alternative to you making it yourself with those drops, if you don't want to go that, if you want to have it look like a pop, then this is your best alternative that's in the health food stores. And some general stores, regular stores have it as well. So that's your health tip for this week. If it was important and helpful to you, please share it, and we will see you next time. Bye.